I think one of the most frustrating stages of fitness is like, let's say you work corporate and you know what to do in the gym. Like nobody needs to teach you how to squat. Nobody needs to teach you about macros or progressive overload, but you put in the work, but it doesn't look like you put in the work, right? You look in the mirror, like, or you put on a shirt, you look at yourself in the mirror, like my arms aren't big. I can't see my abs, but I'm doing the work. What gives? I'm working. I'm eating clean. What gives? I'm going to tell you what gives. This is what I learned. All right. There's 52 weeks in the year. You might tell your friends and family that you work out 3 or 4 days a week, but let's just do some math. If your week looks like this, then you're working out. Actually, you're consistent like 40% of the year. All right. If Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you are on point, eating clean and working out, but then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're like 50% of the way there, or you're completely off, then you are only on point. You are only consistent 47%, 53% of the year. Okay. Because 4 out of the 7 days of the week is 53%. All right. Now, if we include holidays, and there are like 7 major holidays where most people like take the full week off, basically, that's another 7 weeks. Okay. So that's 53% of the year minus those 7 weeks. That ends up being something like 22, I think, to 24 weeks of the year where you're on point. So let's just call that 47% of the year you're on point. That's less than 50% you're on point and consistent. I get that you're fit. I get that you like are fit-ish, but if your consistency is like that, right? That's your execution rate. That's the same as taking 1 step forward, 1 step backwards constantly. You're 50% of the way there, right? If you want your physique to look like you work out, then your execution rate, your consistency rate needs to be around 80%, 80 to 90%. You got to be on point with your nutrition, on point with your training, 80 to 90% of the weeks of the year if you want to look good, if you want to look like you actually work out.